You are listening to a Dynamic Works Productions podcast. This show is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio Network, and many, many more podcast services around the world. You can find all our content, music, videos, books, podcasts, and more on our website, www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Have questions, comments, or concerns for us? Head on over to the social tab on www.dynamicworksproductions.com if you'd like to talk to us. Now, on with the show.
Okay. Test cast number 2 for driving and podcasting. I'm recording on my voice memos with my AirPods, and Brock is recording on his iPhone with his AirPods. And we are hoping that this will cut down on the noiseries. They have decent sound cancellation.
Hopefully it works.
And also because I got the fucking heater at full bore because it's fucking cold as shit in the van right now. And
yeah, it's like 40 degrees outside, I think.
Yeah. And like not even like wind chilly, but just like thick chill.
It's a wet chill.
Yeah, wet chill. So yeah. Thrown your phone out that door?
No, the door was slightly cracked, and I was getting like some windage.
You get some windage? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so what have you been playing this weekend?
So this week, I got back into Fire Emblem 3 for a little bit, and
Is there like a new campaign coming to that?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
So I was kind of just bull rushing a bunch of stuff and trying to power level and get through everything. But in order to do that, I quit out of my Resident Evil 4, which I thought I had saved. And because I thought I had saved and beaten this one really hard boss, Krauser, the last time you face him. But apparently I did not, so I had to go face this monster. And then you face Krauser, and I was just like, I was super fucking pissed, and I straight up, like, I fucking threw my Switch down. I was like, God damn it.
You threw it? You threw it hard?
No, I was like,
Flopped it gently?
Yeah, I was like, and then
you threw it on the bed?
Yeah, I set it down angeredly, wishing I could throw it like an old Xbox controller. And then like 10 minutes later, I picked it up and like just blitzed the two monsters to get back to where I was at facing Krauser. And then I was just like, okay, set it down and like just went and watched a show because I was just so mad about the situation. Which fucking Resident Evil is notorious for having very specific set save points, and I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Before quitting and playing Fire Emblem again.
Like Resident Evil's thing, man.
Yeah, it is.
The old typewriters.
So, yeah, and then still playing Black Desert a lot. I guess not really playing. I've just been auto-grinding, trying to get both better loot, which seems to be really hard to do now, and that's a big thing on Reddit that you had told me about, and I actually looked up.
Like they screwed the pooch royally on their loot able to be getting on the free-to-play aspect.
Yeah, so there's no more high-level loot tiers on free-to-play, which a lot of people are upset about, especially since one of the better spots to get said high level loot. They've only had that loot drop show up like twice or 3 times since its release, like not even 3 months ago, like the monster release.
Well, and then the other thing on Black Desert Mobile is I don't know. So something I've learned here recently is so there's the global team, which is the main team in Korea of Pearl Abyss, like a subsection of the main studio that's making the game. And there's like a whole like global or Korean or Japanese version of Black Desert Mobile where there's like 20 fucking classes, tons of fucking content, like all kinds of shit that we don't yet have.
Yeah.
The American version. And
Well,
then
North American.
And then the North American version is like its own entity,
Yeah.
basically. And it's being treated as a separate citizen, basically. And like I was learning about how there's like different subclasses and stuff for the main classes to unlock, and like all kinds of shit, including like literal. If you've done the quest or the story quest already, like you can literally auto quest button it for your other tunes or avatars or whatever you want to call them.
Well, and then another big thing is that like key abilities are being left out on the North American version.
Yeah, like a lot of people are pissed because the sorceress, which is the current new class, very cool class, very powerful, has a heal, I guess, in the global version.
And a passive healing ability.
No, I think she's got a spell heal.
Oh, okay.
The archer and the giant have a passive heal.
Okay.
And the sorceress, I guess, in the global version, has a heal spell, much like the present American version's witch. But I guess, like, there's been some dev streams, I guess, with, like, some Korean guys from Pearl Abyss and whoever the American dude is who's kind of running the show for the North American version. And he's just like, yeah, we're not putting the healing on sorceress. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Why not? Why not? God damn it.
Well, and there are a couple Reddit threads that are like, here's the rundown for the American dev interview. Fuck you.
Yeah. Fuck you.
We don't care.
Fuck your horse we rode in on.
Yeah.
Also, fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay, there's that taco truck we keep seeing around here.
Yeah.
Don't want a taco.
Yeah. Looks good. Sounds good. Tacos always sound good though.
Especially because it's cold out. Nice hot taco.
Yeah, like I would prefer a nice big hot soup, but tacos are good.
I mean, it's hard to find a good soup place, to be honest.
That is true.
Like
Panera, pho.
Yeah, okay, pho.
Pho is good.
Ooh, pho sounds good. I don't know pho tonight.
Pho is always good.
Sounds amazing. I still need to make my pho. I've got all the shit for it too. I've had the crab sitting since like, I mean, it's canned. It's fine. But I've had the crab since fucking December.
Yeah, I saw it in there, and I keep moving it around, and I was tempted just to throw it away.
You fucking better not. That shit's fucking expensive as shit.
Maybe you should use it then.
I will.
I'm gonna laugh if its use by date was like a month ago.
Nah, it's canned. It should be good for at least a year.
I don't know. Why don't you just use your K-Rab?
Because I don't want to use the K-Rab. I want to use real crab.
It's bullshit.
You know, I'm gonna blend it up with the chicken and a little bit of beef gristle, like they say to do. Then you bake them into the meatballs.
But back to Black Desert, not soup aficionados. Yeah, so like there are some things.
Okay, hang on. I have another thing on soup. Is chili a soup or is it chili?
If chili is anything besides chili, it's a stew.
Okay, I agree with that.
So that's my viewpoint on that.
Okay, fair enough. Good. Okay, Black Desert, yeah. You want me to keep talking about it?
Black Desert, kind of like I like it, but it is you can be very hands off with it. So and we've talked about that extensively on
at least a couple of podcasts.
Yeah, a couple of podcasts.
Yeah, but that's what's great about it. Is like it can be as evolving or not as involving as you want it to be.
Exactly. But the gist of it is that loot is now harder to come by. Well, high tier loot is impossible to come by now.
Yeah.
And so you basically just have to farm
Yeah, they also took out a farming area,
Yeah, you have to.
which is like, so for those who don't know, like, it's not like a loot cave or something. Like, Black Desert has legitimate high tier level farming zones where you
Yes.
go to grind and, hopefully get your gear. Like, literal zones for
Or
farming.
materials for said.
And they took out the highest tier one and then replaced it with one that's like 500 combat points above the highest combat points you can even get in the game,
Yes.
making it ultra impossible. So it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, which makes auto grinding impossible because you have to babysit if you're in a high tier area.
Like, and I'm not complaining the fact that, like, oh, it's like now I can't leave it alone and do nothing and grind. It's no, they buffed it so hard you can't do it even if you're trying.
Yeah,
like you would be trying your ass off and losing anyway.
Yes.
Like, that's the point.
And their drop rates are ridiculously low to begin with, even with your drop rate buff type items.
Yeah.
Which they do have. So it's kind of like not disappointing. It's like, oh, I personally don't play competitively, like in their arena or their like team
the
arena.
fucking daily challenge shit.
Yeah, like I don't have a desire to do that simply because I don't have a lot of options to like really build a character out. Like, it's not as RPG-y as I would like to.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, it would be if they had the other subclasses, which they call awakenings,
Yeah,
in the game, but they don't have them yet.
yeah, which is super unfortunate.
And then the other thing I don't get, so apparently this game, the mobile version, has been around for 4 years.
Okay.
So it just launched in North America last October, and it was in testing for like quite a few months before that. But like, so the game's been out 4 years, and which I guess shows because the game is pretty damn polished. But at the same time, it's like, if it's been out 4 years, why don't they have like all the characters that
Well,
they already
I
have?
can
Like, why don't they have?
I can
Why
already
are
tell
they
you one.
piecemealing it? Why?
Because the localization, everything is completely voice acted.
That's true.
So there is a ton of just getting the basic voice acting out for localization, which, I mean, honestly, they could have not done that. They could have just had it text like
True.
a lot.
And I appreciate the quality of the voice acting. It's very good level. But fuck you, Toyota. Piece of shit. Fucking Toyota.
So that I can almost guarantee you is one thing that is probably holding the American team up is just the width and breadth of the localization.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just some unfortunate things.
Well, and I don't know what the sales figures are in the Google Play Store because it's available on iOS and Google. But I know on iOS it's 18 million players, which is a fuck ton.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Especially for a mobile game.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not like they don't have people playing or spending money on their game. Because while it is free to play and like cosmetics and shit cost money and that sort of very decently stacked free to play stuff,
Yeah.
like,
I'm
sure they're making good money.
Yeah, I had no problem being free to play for quite a while, and then there were certain things that I just wanted that I spent a couple bucks on. So it's not
like inventory.
Yeah, inventory is a big one.
Which honestly, I don't mind too much if it's like super generous.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I feel like they did it right on this, and it seems like they're starting to swing into the negative now, unfortunately, with this loot shit.
Yeah.
And like, you can't get accessories now.
Behind us, dude.
Oh shit. That is a fucking... I didn't even fucking hear him. It's pretty quiet. Aflac ambulance.
No, it's Flack. Or Folk.
I don't know. Is that what Aflac is, though?
No.
I don't know.
You fucking ridiculous.
Is it a real ambulance or is it like a secondary ambulance?
It's probably a secondary.
So what does that even mean?
It's a private ambulance company.
So do they still have to, like, do they obey the same rules as?
Yes, there's guidelines that you would have to follow.
Yeah.
But it's
I
not
mean, I don't
like
know.
it's not like a county provided ambulance.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah, Black Desert Mobile, it's great. Although last update, it's fucked some stuff. Oh, and I don't know about you, but were your characters completely fucked end of Saturday, beginning of Sunday? Everything I was fighting, like I was like over level, like the CP class, like by like 500, and like things that would be like 800 CP would be one-shotting me to death.
So
Like something fucked up on the server, I think.
I don't know.
Like I just couldn't, like I couldn't play. I had to go back to the beginning farmland area to fight anything that wouldn't kill me.
I don't
It
know.
was really bizarre for me.
I mean, were you babysitting or were you just auto grinding?
A little column A, a little bit of column B. The weekend.
Yeah, I mean, usually on the weekends I just throw it on auto grind and
Yeah,
try
but I
to
mean,
farm.
like little itty bitty goblin, instant death, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That's funny. No, I didn't notice that personally.
Yeah, I think shit got fucked because like Sunday afternoon when you it like janked and then you log back in, there was a tiny little couple megabyte patch.
Yeah.
So I think something got fucked.
I mean, probably it wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah. So I beat. I know, a long time coming. I beat Doom 2016 last weekend. And I gotta say, I love Doom 2016, but I gotta say that fucking ending was disappointing as fucking shit. It was terrible. Like, it was so Bioshock 1.
Yeah, you said it was really anticlimactic.
Yeah, so Doom 2016 rebooted the original Doom series. And in the original Doom, you fight, like, the mastermind, who's this fucking cyber spider brain thing with guns and rocket launchers. And the very original Doom, like the OG Doom. And you do the same thing in this game, except, and it's very weird because Doom 2016 is a very unforgiving game. Like, when you die, because you fucked up and did not play good, you know, and not like these demons have 100% accuracy, but like, no, you fairly pressed the wrong buttons, shot the wrong things, ammo starved yourself, and then you get your fucking face eaten off by like one of those floaty things that eats your brains in Doom 2016. I don't know what they're fucking called. The floaty single eyeball brain things with the teeth.
I don't remember.
That rip your face off. Literally. But it's like so dumb. So like you go back to hell for like the 80th time, which is not surprising if you played any Doom game ever.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go again. You know, and you go into these 3 arenas, you fight a bunch of Doom, or a bunch of demons, and you get 3 keys, and then you go to a boss, and then the boss is, like he's cool looking and whatnot, but, like, he's kind of easy, and there's, like, bosses before that like, fucking put you in your goddamn place. Like, I was telling Brock the previous weekend, I've been basically playing Doom 2016 a lot this year, in preparation for Doom Eternal, which I'm very excited for. And like the very first boss you fight in Doom 2016, like punches you through a wall and does like 60 hit points of damage per shot. And it's just like, oh Jesus, I need to use all of my skills down to my last like fucking pistol to fucking fight this dude. And then he like regenerates 3 times with like multiple extra health bars, and you're like, oh man, I'm really extra fucked. And like there's a couple other bosses too, and they're kind of the same way. Like they really test your metal. And then the last boss did not test my metal at all. And I kicked his ass.
Maybe that's why there's a sequel.
I know, but like you kick his ass, and then like scientist dude you're working for. Spoiler for Doom 2016. It's been 5 years. You're good. You're good, man.
Yeah.
Also, it's Doom. The story is not the point. But like the scientist dude, like kicks you in a cryostasis cell, steals the hell key, and it's like, ha ha ha. and then the credits roll, and you're just like, what the fucking anticlimactic shit is that? Like, it's so bad.
I love it.
Oh, it's terrible.
I mean, that kind of reminds me of how I wanted Avengers Endgame to end. It was just like, oh, they lose. Can't do nothing to fix it.
Well, wouldn't you mean just there is no Endgame, it's just Infinity War?
Yeah, it's just, yeah. It's just like that first 5 minutes of the movie, or 10 minutes of the movie, and then it's just like, it has a real pregnant black screen and pause, and it's like, aha, that would have been great. And then it was just 3 hours of blackness. I would have loved that, personally.
Yeah. I'm sure you probably could be like class action lawsuited for that.
Why?
False advertising?
No. Yeah, how was that false advertising?
Because they had trailers for Endgame, and if Endgame had just been 3 hours of black screen.
Oh, okay. And then right before credits roll, they have Cap waking up, and it's just all those trailers was him having a bad dream.
That's dumb. This is why you don't get to write movies. Like, it's so
You got to
fucking-
subvert the subversion.
Oh my god. Here we go again.
That'd be great.
Oh god. So anyway, June 2016, amazing. But the last level and boss, hella lackluster. Like, looked cool, don't get me wrong, but it didn't, like, it felt noticeably like the difficulty, instead of curving upwards, just went off a cliff, and it's just like, okay, you kill everybody, you win, kinda.
Yeah. But, I mean, didn't Bethesda make Doom?
Id makes Doom, but it's owned by Bethesda.
Oh, okay. Maybe the same guy who made Fallout 76 went over to Doom.
No, because Doom 2016 plays good and runs, for that matter. But I'm looking real forward to Doom Eternal, which looks like it's going to be Doom 2016, but even more extreme and also more Metroidvania, which is interesting. So we'll see how they do that, and hopefully it doesn't kill the nice
flow.
fluidness of the Doom 2016.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching some shit on Doom Eternal, and it's like, punch a demon, break through a wall, get a key card, flip on monkey bars, hit switches before spikes kill you, to open another door, like within like 5 seconds.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I see it. I don't know if it's gonna be fun though,
Yeah.
but we'll see. But it is id, and it's mostly the same fucking people who've been making id games since id's inception. Minus John Carmack, who no longer works there. But so I have some faith in this team striking home where other Bethesda owned things have not.
That phrase you just said sounds really fucking wrong, because striking home, like, if you get a strike, you can't run home. It's just like,
I mean, I don't know baseball. Don't fucking expect me to know this shit. First base is the most important base, isn't it? Is it? Not that? Not that? Is it third base?
No. Home base, home plate is most important, because that's how you
I always
score.
thought it was related to, like, when you go with a girl. Like, first base was
First base is kissing.
first base is kissing, second base boobs,
Yeah.
third base
is
vagina.
No, I think it's like
Home run would be vagina.
groping, fingering. Home run is sex.
Okay.
I mean, this is some really old turn of phrase that's from like the fucking 50s and 60s, probably.
Yeah.
One thing that we had I don't think we mentioned in last week's episode of Angry Cars.
You just gonna fucking change the name every week.
Yep, every week.
I mean, it's still a Hard Year podcast, so everybody's clear.
Exactly.
It's just happening on the road, at least for these experimental shows, until you tell us to fuck off.
One thing that happened, I think that was last week, is that Blizzard released a remastered Warcraft 3.
Mm-hmm.
And but when they did so, they patched the original Warcraft 3 so that you can no longer play it. You can't even access it to look at its like fucking specs. And then they released a totally broken remastered Warcraft 3 that is, by all accounts, unplayable, which is super unfortunate. And the few people that
Not
did,
unfortunate. It's fucking scummy.
it's super scummy because I think I still have my Warcraft 3 downloaded to my current laptop, and the fact that I can't,
Me too.
I don't have the option to go back and play it at all, even though I've paid for it. And I personally think Blizzard's going to run into a lot of issues in countries like Germany, Belgium, and France, which have specific laws against this. And they could, I mean, technically get sued into oblivion if it's pursued. Because I know those countries have an obsolescence law, and they also, like, if you fucking paid for a product, you have to have access to it. Like, so there could be some issues that they run into. I mean, could you imagine if they had done that with StarCraft 1 and 2? Like, you would have the entirety of all of the Asias.
I mean, you have to wonder, like, what's going on exactly over at Blizzard. So, fun story. So, I'm a big Gears of War fan. However, I have not played the two newest Gears, 4 and 5, which are supposedly really amazing. But Rod Ferguson runs, I think it's called Black Tusk Studio. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I didn't play them. But he's the co-creator of Gears of War, along with Cliff Bleszinski. And he directed the last two Gears games. Well, he just left, and he is now the new director on Diablo 4 at
Yes.
Blizzard. So you have to wonder. I mean, I think it's one of those things. I don't think.
But you think like the transition period is tough? Is that what you think it is?
No. I'm just saying I don't think the old Blizzard that we knew and loved, like, I don't think all of the team members necessarily are there anymore. And I'm not like fact checked to see, but if we look at the trends of like what happened with Bethesda, Fallout 76, what's happened with like other games and stuff that are just like these weird letdowns when they shouldn't be.
Yeah, considering
You
how
know,
much
and
time.
like these weird moves from Blizzard, from fucking,
But he's the head of a
Hearthstone
game.
thing to like all this other stuff. So I don't think the people who are like the hardcore, dependable, like old guard,
Yeah.
like I don't think they're there anymore. And decisions are being made by either younger, naive people or money grubbing assholes.
Well, it's obvious that it's probably a little bit more money grubbing assholes because it's not Blizzard anymore, it's Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
And I mean, Blizzard or Activision's kind of fallen to the wayside.
I mean, except that it's not, because financially they crush it every fucking year.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking Call of Duty.
Like, financially they have a lot of fucking pull, and it's really unfortunate that Blizzard got roped into this. And I totally get that, when you make it big, you want to sell off and get out and do your own thing. But it's like video game companies like Blizzard and Valve and Bethesda used to be, like, they're really going to the wayside, and they just want to pump out a product that they can sell, whether it's good or bad. Like, case in point, Anthem. Anthem had a great selling month. It was the best-selling game of.
It's still one of the best-selling games of 2019.
And
but yes,
fall-off,
all of those sales were the first like month and a half.
Yeah, and then after that, it was not only sales dropped off, but player activity literally fell through the floor.
Yeah. Speaking of Anthem, so Casey Hudson, who was the director and lead producer of BioWare, who actually left BioWare like a fucking while ago, like retired, started a brewery or some shit.
Yeah.
Has both A, returned to BioWare, and B, it's, I mean, not in stone, but it's rumored he's leading up another Mass Effect. He's like the instrumental dude behind it. But he had a formal statement about Anthem saying that they're doing an Anthem 2.0. They're basically going to keep the air quotes, and I'm going from memory here because I'm fucking driving, folks. They're basically going to keep the current version of Anthem as is, while they're focusing on deeper seated fixes and problems that have plagued the game since launch, and are essentially going to relaunch the game with a 2.0 when it's ready. And they had a list of bullet points, but they were kind of like vaguey general bullet points. I mean, they were good bullet points, but, still, and it's just like, we'll let you know when it's ready kind of thing. But it seems to me like if it came from Casey Hudson, that maybe he's not just involved in a potential hypothetical new Mass Effect, but maybe he's kind of just like
becoming a director of video games, or
he's kind of just running point,
an overlord
on the BioWare projects. It seems like.
I mean,
because you have to wonder what happened. Like, he'd fucking full retired. Like, my understanding, he'd retired just before Andromeda, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was way before that. Actually, I don't remember.
I think it was before.
I want to say
Andromeda
he's been gone
production.
for a couple of years.
Yeah, I think it was before Andromeda was actually even in production. But I mean, with the slew of things that have basically gone wrong at BioWare, it's not surprising that they brought this powerhouse of a creative director.
I went too far up, didn't I? Where the location?
I have no.
I mean, I can still get there.
Yeah,
but I went. Why did I think it was up here?
I don't know. We should get some Philly cheesesteaks.
We just did on Monday.
What'd you do on Monday? Oh yeah, when you were out of the office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gave we all got some.
Oh, nice.
Met his son, actually.
Oh yeah,
nice dude. Hilariously a lot like his dad.
I believe it. Yeah, like we were saying, it's really not, or as I was saying, it's not surprising that they brought this creative kind of director out of retirement to, hopefully get BioWare back to where it was pre-Andromeda, essentially. Because since Andromeda, they have had not much going for them. So hopefully Anthem gets fixed, and they don't charge you for 2.0.
I mean, I would love to say that they'd have the balls to do that, but BioWare does. I don't think EA would allow it.
Which is really funny.
However, if it's like Anthem 2.0 and it's like $30, I think I'd be down. Because I had a great time with Anthem.
Because you have to rebuy a game that was release broken.
It'll probably be an extension. Or, you know what it could be? You know what they could do? For release it as 2.0, like the main campaign's longer, there's like more shit to it. They fixed some of the missions that were kind of gay. And like they add like more content to it, and then also like make it lead up to expansion, like make it like really fair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So basically kind of like a remastered Anthem 1 on all of its stuff leading into a 2.0, which is a ton of cool shit. And then it's like $30. I could see it being like that.
I mean, that would be an interesting way to deal with it. But it's just I
mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, the other thing is we also
we don't know when it's coming out either. It could be another year down the road.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised since next gen's right around the corner if it would like launch on next gen or something.
Yeah. So it's not even available to current gen.
I mean, I don't know.
That would be hilarious.
I'm not a game developer.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's reassuring considering whose mouth it's coming from. So if
I agree
if it's by the will of Lord Casey Hudson, it'll get done. And it'll get done on time and probably be amazing.
I mean, it would be really
that's what he does.
Yeah.
He ships fucking amazing games.
Yep.
He's the director of KOTOR, director of the Mass Effect trilogy, and think he had a hand in one of the Dragon Ages. I don't think he's director per se. I'm pretty sure he had a hand in it.
Yeah, it probably helped out.
So
It would be really nice to have him back to kind of redirect them and get Anthem back online, get a new Mass Effect out the door that, because that garbage Andromeda was horrid, and then to hopefully get the remastered, of the original Mass Effect trilogy off the ground, which I would personally love more than a new Mass Effect.
yeah, I know you want that really bad.
I do.
And you want it on the Switch.
I would
Which is totally feasible.
It
100%
is.
feasible.
What is this fucking cocksucker doing?
I don't know. He's going at
He's going 30,
fucking
40.
45 on fucking I-5.
Yeah. Is this westbound I-5?
Those who don't know, Brock is making fun of my directional skills here because he's an asshole.
Because I want you to be better, Tim. That's why I degrade you constantly.
Is that how that works?
It is. Negative reinforcement.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that pans out for your son when he becomes an adult.
I mean, he's doing great so far.
So far. Did Jessica tell you about the brownies this morning?
No, what happened with the brownies?
Oh, it looks like kid totally fucking ate a bunch of her brownies.
Really?
Yeah, because they were little itty bitty bite marks, and then just like left the cores in the pan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Because she was gonna have a brownie.
I mean, he knows better than to do that. He should know
I
better.
know, but he tried to sneak cookies and shit before.
He has. He's really smart about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but his downfall was he left the fucking
He
evidence.
left evidence.
Yeah.
You don't leave evidence, man.
Yeah, but like, so she's got like little squares.
Yeah.
And then there's bite marks that are way too fucking small to be fucking adult bite marks.
Did she save them so she could show them to me?
No, she mentioned it to me this morning, and she said she was going to mention it to you in the office, but
I hope she saved the evidence so that we can just
they're
be like,
still sitting there.
oh, okay, yeah.
So, when you bring your kid home, be like, you fucking eat these fucking brownies?
Yeah. That's funny.
I thought it was funny too.
That's hilarious.
I was like, he's 5, right?
Yeah, he's 5.
Yeah. To be 5. And he was like, I am a genius. I will eat the brownie.
I'll take bites out of all around the edges and make them equally small, and then try to like puzzle them back together. Oh, that's great. Oh god, kids are dumb.
You're a kid.
Yeah. And? Oh man,
I'd say that's a fantastic ending off point because we're about to arrive at our destination.
Yeah.
And we will continue on the drive.
And drive back, yes.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Till the next part. I think you have to.
You're terribly loud.
Yeah. All going?
I think so.
Think so?
Yeah, it's going.
A little red in the corner?
Yep, it's going.
Okay. That's what we were talking about?
I think we were talking about what's his face coming back to BioWare.
And then you were complaining about Blizzard.
Well, that was a while before that, but yes.
I know, I'm sure Nate Fu and Burning Wing want to have our ass because they were both really bitching about us talking about Google Stadia and GeForce Now. Because I guess Burning Wing's had GeForce Now for like years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's saying it's a great platform.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I've never heard of it. But I mean, Stadia is basically dead now because isn't Google using Microsoft Cloud or whatever?
Google using Microsoft Cloud.
Or something?
That doesn't make any sense. They have their own cloud.
No, they were doing something.
I think they're the Samsung thing I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, Samsung.
Yeah, so Samsung had their Galaxy S20 Plus and Ultra event like 2 days ago. I watched a 5-minute summary, and then I watched Marquis Brown's analysis of all 3 phones. And I have several things to say about that. One, Samsung has thrown away the curved edge design of their phones. Like, you know how they got that, like, the left and right sides are like curved
Yes.
or some shit. So they're throwing that to the wayside. It's their first flat displays they've had, so they're more similar to an iPhone now than ever in that regard.
Okay.
In some time. Their processors seem pretty beefy, but it doesn't make any sense to me, and even Marquise Brown was questioning this. So their phones have two sets of octa-core next generation processors in them.
Okay.
Which is
a lot.
That's a lot. So you basically have a dual core, 8-core, 16. You piece of shit, Toyota! Didn't even fucking have your turn signal on. Fucking bastard.
I mean,
what is with Toyotas today?
He was in a turn lane, and you don't have to have your turn signal on in a turn lane.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Are you gonna go straight in a turn lane with a green light?
That you need to have your fucking
green? No, you don't.
Your turn signal on.
Oh, you don't.
So that you're indicating to traffic which way you're going.
That you're
because that
lane
has 3 different fucking ways you could go. You could
no,
pull the U-turn. You could turn left into the fucking station there, or you could go fucking left on the corner like we did.
It had a U-turn and a left turn, and that's it.
Nah.
And it was a directional light, and it was a turn lane.
You're dumb.
If it was a turn lane with a straight ahead available, yes, you do have to put on your turn signal. In a turn only lane that has a directional light.
Anyways, back to these Samsung phones.
So you are fucking wrong, just like everything else today.
Very strangely, they come in configurations of 12 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of RAM, which even Marquise Brownlee was like, what are you even going to use that much RAM on a phone for?
It's also fucking huge, a huge phone.
Well, so there's 3. There's the base, so there's like a normal size phone. There's the Plus, which is a bigger phone. And then there's the Samsung S20 Ultra, which is their new super duper premium flagship phone, or kind of their, as he called it, their Pro model.
Yeah.
Like everybody's doing a Pro version now these days. And it had a 7.8 inch display. And he was holding one up in his video, and he's like, it's kind of ridiculous because the iPad mini has like an 9-inch display or something like that. So he's like, it's 3/4 the size of an iPad mini. He's like, it's so much bigger than even the Galaxy Notes, which are kind of those phablets type devices. He's like, it's fucking huge. Like, he's like, I don't know who this is for, other than it's fucking huge. And then they got their 6 cameras on the back, which is super excessive as well. And then he said the only thing that was kind of cool about the Ultra, though, which is kind of weird because, like, I don't even think it's standardized. I'm not even sure what you would use it for. Maybe that's part of why it has such big a RAM, is like it can shoot 8K photos and video
on a phone.
Which is just fucking silly. Like, I don't know who's using
that. I don't either. I mean, at that point, you really should just be using a professional camera.
I mean, yeah, it's true.
I mean, if you're gonna be in that league of photography, you should be using a professional camera. You should be using that silly Mac that has a $2,000 stand, like
the Mac Pro.
Yeah, the Mac Pro that
the stand
has
is optional, by the way.
Yeah, the stand is optional because it doesn't come with the monitor.
But everybody said that it is literally the best monitor anybody's ever used.
I'm not saying that it's not. I'm also is it the best stand that's ever been invented?
No, you're misinterpreting the stand. It has legs for the thing. Are you talking about the actual computer or the display?
I'm talking about the display.
Okay, yeah, the display has to have a separate stand. Yeah,
I know,
which is dumb.
That's
I
why
understand.
that's why I'm harping on it.
Okay. But I just want to clarify, because if it's the box,
I'm not talking
the
about
box
that. I'm
has
just saying.
feet. But
It has, wait, why does a box need feet? Is that an extra $500 charge for the feet?
no, but there is an extra charge for the rollers if you want the rollers.
I mean, why wouldn't you just have a flat box?
You could.
Like, that's
Anyway.
$2,000 right there. They can cut off the cost.
Anyways.
My point is that if you're photographering and filming at that level, there's no reason for you to be using your fucking phone.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so they had these Samsung phones, and then the other stuff. Well, not surprised because it's been leaked months ago. They've got a folding screen flip phone.
Yeah.
Called the Galaxy Z. And the thing that they were talking about with that was it has some kind of, like, I suppose, so I guess the difference between it and the Razer is the Galaxy specs are way better because they're like new specs versus the new Motorola, the 2020 Motorola Razer.
Yeah.
To emphasize what we're talking about, has a foldable screen. But the difference is, so I guess the screen on the Razer, it like folds, but it like kind of bends the screen back, so there's no crease in the screen, versus the Galaxy Z is a direct fold on the crease of the screen.
Yeah.
And they're saying that like it's cool that it folds so like tightly,
seamlessly,
but you feel a bump in the center of the screen when you've got it full open, which they're like, it's gonna feel weird, I suppose. But the thing that they, or at least Marky Brownlee, liked about it more than the Motorola Razr was that the Razr, I guess, has some sort of polylaminate plastic covering the screen for its foldy part, whereas Samsung actually has some kind of scratch-resistant glass that is somehow flexible. Like it's some crazy space-aged, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have analyses on it when it's out. But so those were what they announced, and they'll all be out in the next couple of months, or in the next month, I think.
Yeah.
So that's Samsung's lineup for 2020. And then the surprise that was kind of underscored in the press conference video is that they, despite running Android and being essentially one of the Google type Android flagship phones, Samsung has apparently partnered to be one of the de facto destinations for xCloud, which tells me that Samsung doesn't believe at all in Google Stadia.
No, and they shouldn't.
And that's very interesting, considering they're a fucking Google platform.
Yep.
So that came as an interesting bit of surprise. So, I mean, I would assume it would be able to run Google Stadia based on what Google Stadia can run on, since it's their operating system.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's interesting that Samsung would announce such a partnership.
I mean, it does to me, because Stadia and all of its other garbage is garbage, and they don't want to use it.
Yeah. So something I found about just the other day, because I had found it out too late. So Microsoft launched their first trials for xCloud on iOS.
Okay.
Yesterday. I guess it was a limited batch. It was like, Major Nelson, one of the key guys over at Xbox, was just like, here's the sign-up page. We got limited slots, so hurry. And it was like filled up in a couple of hours. We talked about it at noon. I was too late to jump on it. So I guess they're starting the rollout for that, or the beta rollout for that now. So I'm excited for that, because I would love to get on it and check it out. Because I don't have an Android phone that could support xCloud. So definitely want to check it out on my devices of choice.
Yeah.
And something that I didn't know that was interesting. So I guess the xCloud beta on iOS, and some people did some digging on this, is only the server streaming part. Like, you can't stream your own games xCloud on iOS, at least in the beta.
Okay.
Because there's like some weird terms contract shit or something between the Microsoft thing and the iOS thing.
Yeah.
When you're beta testing something on iOS.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it makes some sense. But what I didn't know was that these very terms apparently don't allow Stadia on iOS. And I didn't know that. I thought Stadia was on all screens everywhere, like their ads say. So Stadia is apparently not on iOS because of these terms, which means since they're even allowing a beta on iOS, that means Apple is bending the rules specifically for Microsoft to let xCloud on the thing, which honestly,
it makes sense.
I know
that totally makes
there's
sense.
a lot of people that are like, oh, we're super surprised by this. And it's like, I've been to Apple stores. There are Xbox controllers in Apple stores.
Yeah, there's Xbox
right next to
periphery.
the fucking PlayStation controllers. So since their announcement that their controllers work over Bluetooth in the new operating system, and they literally show their Apple Arcade stuff with these controllers, I think that's probably part of the bargain.
Yeah.
Of like, they're controlling our platform, but we want xCloud.
Yeah.
And Apple's like, sure, I guess. So, but that's interesting because, like, I didn't even know, because that same thing means that the GeForce Now streaming thing is also not on iOS either.
Yeah.
For that same reason. So then the only game streaming service on iOS is xCloud, or will be once it's out of beta.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very interesting, and I didn't know that until I started digging into it. Actually, because of a link that Burning Wing sent me. It's very interesting.
Okay.
What's allowed and not allowed, and I didn't even think of that as a barrier. I just thought, oh, it's like Netflix; it's on everything. But I guess it's not the case exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess xCloud will be on everything, but
well, and I mean, if you kind of look at the in the a grander thing, it's like Microsoft has a proven track record with gaming.
True.
Where Stadia and unfortunately Nvidia's little GeForce TV or GeForce Now
okay, so
is not
defending you right now, Burning Wing. So GeForce Now has been around for 4 years.
I'm not saying that it's not a good platform or a way to stream. I'm just saying it has nowhere near the proving ground that Microsoft has had.
I mean, maybe. I mean,
over a longer period of time.
True. The only other thing that you could say about that is NVIDIA has been making graphics cards for well over a decade.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that their hardware isn't great, but they jumped into a totally new idea of streaming video games. Is still a pretty new idea.
I mean,
it's about 5 years old.
I'm going to actually say no to that, because we had OnLive, which was a shitty gaming streaming service, like 8 years ago. And then didn't Gamefly do some fucking streaming shit
but I mean,
for a while?
You can go back and say that fucking Sega TV. My point is a viable streaming service.
Okay, fine.
Is pretty new idea.
Okay, fair enough.
And again, NVIDIA, not knocking NVIDIA's streaming or their hardware. I love them. I'm just saying they're still pretty new to the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
just trying to defend my boys because I can hear them yelling.
I mean,
I could hear Burning Wing's southern accent yelling at me from his hangar, whatever aircraft he's working on, and Nate Fu.
Oh, you're gonna defend
driving in his hot car in that terrible Californian swelter
system
with his tricks.
I mean, I don't know how you defend Stadia.
I'm not defending Stadia. Okay, it can die. I'm just trying to defend my boys. Who are yelling at me probably right now?
No, and Burning Wing has every right to be upset. I'm not saying that it's not a good streaming service or that it's not comparable. I'm just saying it's pretty new to the fucking game. In that aspect. I mean, we've seen it happen plenty of times where an upstart comes in and sweeps an industry, but that's pretty few and far between nowadays.
True.
Especially against fucking titans like PlayStation or Sony and Microsoft.
Speaking of fucking PlayStation, so they had a live action trailer just like PlayStation brand type trailer thing.
Of the PlayStation 5?
No,
live action.
No, didn't even say it. It was just the PlayStation brand, and it was the weirdest, horrific thing. Like everybody's talking about it on the internet right now. Like,
I haven't had a chance to look at that.
you've heard about it being horrific, right?
I've heard it's something weird.
So it's like this like Asian SWAT team going into Chernobyl, and they're like rappelling down, and they've got like all their like rad detectors, and they come down, they open these doors, and there's all these like human hearts in cages with tubes like hooked up to them, and there's like blue goo flowing in the tubes through the hearts, and they're hooked up to just like a fucking like weird sci-fi wall of PlayStations.
Okay.
And then they're just like all like doing scared faces and looking weird and stuff. And then it was just like feel the power of PlayStation. And that's all the ad was, and I was like, what the fucking weird shit is that?
I mean, honestly, what they should have done is just cut a couple of minutes out of Chappie, with Chappie using the PlayStation 4 as was it 3s?
Yeah, because that was the one that was infamously, you could run them in parallel.
Yeah,
and
that's what they should have done.
Like the terrorists did, which is why they took it out.
No,
Oh, man.
That's what they should have done.
Okay, fair
no,
enough.
that's fucking hilarious.
That's a deep cut right there, Chappie.
Yeah, that's what they should have done is the Chappie.
The Chappie. Okay, so last topic on the subject of gaming. So we're about to be in March, and we'll begin the onslaught of new games coming out leading into E3 and lots of announcements. So what's like your top like handful of like most look forward to games that aren't out yet?
I mean, honestly, the only game that I've even like have an interest in is Resident Evil 3, the remake.
Because of the remake, or because of the crazy multiplayer?
Both crazy multiplayer and the remake. I never got to
like you gotta explain yourself because you historically hate multiplayer.
I do historically hate multiplayer games. It's just not my thing. But with the right like genre, I guess. And plus, it's not a fucking separate game. It is included.
That's true.
With Resident Evil 3. That is a huge selling point for me. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't pick it up, and I probably wouldn't be as excited about it. Because I think it's silly just to sell an online game that's like, or a multiplayer game that's only multiplayer that has no real story or whatever. Sure. But that's just me. If you like it, if you like that, that's cool. It just isn't for me. But it also seems like it's taking a lot from another game that was going that route, and that would be Fable 4, which is where you kind of have
I don't think it was ever Fable 4. I think it was always Fable Legends.
Fable Legends, Fable 4, whatever. You fucking,
get it right, you fucking fool.
You nitpicky fucking
goddamn
casual.
Right.
You nitpicky casual. That's
casual.
Yeah.
No, you're the casual who's just like,
nitpicky
I'm
casual.
gonna play the Fable 4 on the Xbox 3 Sony.
Yep, exactly.
This is how I talk. My name is Brock.
The 3.9 plus Ultra 62
Terrible.
Xbox.
Use track.
That's literally how they name their fucking products.
I mean, especially Xbox. Yeah.
Yes.
True. At least Sony has a decency. That's a 5.
Yeah. But it feels like, or at least from the trailer that they showed, it's taking a lot of elements from what was going to be Fable Legends, where you have like a whole, like one person building this, not building the dungeon, but you have like a kind of blank canvas that you can throw monsters at a group of different classes.
Wasn't there a canceled BioWare game that was going to do the same thing?
I honestly
It
don't
was like British people in London fighting demons or something.
Oh, that would be
Something
interesting.
Shadow. It's canceled.
That would,
But it was like doing a similar thing where
Yeah.
somebody was a dungeon master and there's like a team going up against.
Yeah, and that sounds like it would be a lot of fun to me. Both aspects of trying to outsmart somebody and outsmarting other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like they have a decent class selection too. Typical.
Yeah.
Fast attack melee, and then the heavy attack melee, and then your typical guns, shotgun and pistol. I didn't see a machine gun, or I don't remember like any kind of assault weapon.
I think there is. There's been a bunch of gameplay videos because of the beta that happened in October.
Yeah,
But I mean, obviously they must have had great results, so they wouldn't include it with 3.
yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, it's still over a month away, but
Yeah, but I haven't really been. Keeping my ear to the ground about games coming out in the next year. Just because I don't like being disappointed. Like I would just rather wait for the game to come out, look at the reviews, and
well, and then the thing with 3, which is not being remade by the same studio that remade 2 last year. But the thing is like if the 3 remake sucks, it looks like the multiplayer is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
because by all accounts, people's hands-on reports, the early stuff, it's fucking really legit.
Yeah. Which makes me happy.
Yeah. And we have an agreement with each other because Brock's birthday is actually in March.
Yeah.
And mine's in June. So we're basically just going to trade each other. Like, we're going to buy copies. We're going to handshake and hand each other. Hilarious. Because we both definitely want to play this.
Exactly.
I'm actually more excited about the mastermind part of the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Because they announced yesterday that Webster will be a playable mastermind.
Ooh,
which is not surprising given he's the fucking be-all big bad of Resident Evil. So you'll have the Nemesis, Mr. X, the Wester for sure.
Yeah, and those aren't technically the masterminds. Those are just characters the mastermind can put out, or has that changed? Because from what I remember,
my understanding is like you pick a mastermind villain, and then you sit in your control room, and when you earn your points, you can come out and do damage for a limited amount of time.
Okay.
I believe.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. Because the mastermind is mainly you're looking at different screens.
Yeah.
And then you get a map overview, and you're placing
different obstacles.
You're placing where the key card or whatever is, and the cameras and traps and controlling the flow. But it's all a point buy system. So
you have to take people down or run a certain amount of time.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
Like, sounds good, looks good, ports are good. Looks like it's probably going to be the standout feature of 3, probably.
Yeah.
Especially since 3 in general is kind of a lukewarm Resident Evil.
It really was, especially, hot off the heels of
2's masterful success, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like this slump, and then you have 4, which was an absolute just huge game. Like,
you think they'll do a fucking dumbass remaster of 4? Given how many fucking times 4's been ported,
it's been ported, remastered. It's been you know what?
I literally on everything.
I honestly don't know.
I kind of think 4 might be the one they won't touch.
I think 4 might just be one of those gems that
was classics.
Yeah,
like maybe another 10 years from now they'll remaster it with new graphics.
Yeah, that's about what I think will happen.
Jesus, where'd that car come from?
The bright orange one?
Well, I couldn't fucking see him because he's in my blind spot because he's an asshole with his orange car. Jesus. As we almost die live on air.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't really kept my ear to the ground about games coming out. I do kind of like I do a weekly check on PlayStation to see if there are any games that have come out that I'm interested in.
Oh,
I do.
Speaking of that, as of this recording, which should go out within the next 24 hours, it's January. Today?
It's not January, that's for fucking sure.
So it's not January. It's February.
It's February 13th.
February 13th.
Yeah.
As of February 13th, Ubisoft's The Division 2 is $3. across all platforms: PC, Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested in that, I mean,
And the BioShock Infinite or the BioShock collection.
the BioShock collection is free on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, it's free on PlayStation Plus.
And I forget what Xbox has for free, but I mean, it's not as good as the BioShock collection, so whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I might get it for $3.
I'm
I mean, $3, man. Like a big old meaty
I'm
looter
interested.
shooter. Did you ever play the first one?
No, I had a buddy who was really into it at my last job, and then he was like, "Yeah, once you get to the dark zones, it's like the game fucking just dies."
Yeah, that's exactly what happened in the first game. So I played through the first game. Like, it was awesome. But you get to the end, and that's kind of it.
Yeah,
And then there's like the Dark Zone, which is like their PvP, PvE multiplayer combined.
yeah,
kinda
which was a
endgame
terrible
conflict.
idea in my opinion.
Actually, it looks great. It was really well executed. The problem was bugs. Because people would glitch into buildings and they'd just be sniping you through buildings.
Yeah, and they would do that versus some of the harder enemies too.
Yeah.
Where
Well, and then the other problem was like the really endgame enemies. And I know this is a weird complaint because it's basically a looter shooter RPG, stats, all that sort of stuff. But it is a Tom Clancy game where it's like realistic-ish setting. And it always felt weird to me to have like a big boss dude flamethrower. He's like level 50, and you shoot him with like your machine guns and your fucking missile strikes and shit. And it's like, oh, you took off 400 damage of this normal man. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, it's there has to be, I guess, a little give and take with that kind of I guess, trying to be grounded in reality.
yeah, it just felt weird to me. I don't know if they fixed it in 2 or not, but I know 2 was really well reviewed. And I played the beta and had good impressions of the beta. I just didn't have anybody to play it with, so didn't grab it.
I mean, don't you have to have a second player to play it or whatever?
Yeah.
You can play it solo?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's totally drop in, drop out, 4-player cooperative.
Okay.
Open world, third person tactical RPG looter shooter.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say it's like you cross Splinter Cell with Gears of War with Destiny.
Okay.
Since you haven't actually played it, that would be kind of like how it feels to play.
Okay.
Particularly like the third person part of Gears of War with like slamming into cover and like you'll like open a door to be tactical and like pop your head through like the door's window.
Yeah.
To like shoot around the corner and stuff like that. But then you have like tactical abilities, which are basically like your different things like you'd have in Destiny, tied to similar buttons. And you have the colored gear tiers and all that shit.
Okay.
But then you kind of have the customization stuff from like Splinter Cells of like, oh, you're gonna put this kind of scope on and this kind of silencer and etc.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Like it's a really solid game, the first one.
I mean, it sounded cool. I just I didn't want a game that was like totally revolved around squad-based tactics.
It's not. Only their raids are like just like Destiny. You gotta have a full fucking team.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do everything solo in the Division, and to my knowledge, in Division 2 as well.
Okay.
So
it might be interesting. I might look at it.
I'm just saying, $3, and I'll join in for $3. Well, so the games I'm looking forward to in 2020.
I didn't fucking ask you what games you were looking forward to.
Well, I fucking did, you piece of shit. God. Oh man, that Mercedes.
Yeah, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Like the Mercedes symbol on it was so fucked up, it looked like an Air Jordan symbol. Like that's how bad that thing got fucked up.
Jesus. Oh,
motherfucker.
Jeez. So the next big game I'm looking forward to is Doom Eternal, which is also out. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm actually going to hold off. I'm not going to pre-order it until I see some reviews because I'm a little, like, I've watched a lot of videos and the gameplay looks amazing, but I don't know if them mashing it with more of a Metroid Prime kind of thing is going to work for the type of, like, high-speed Doom gameplay it is. Like, I'm a little bit skeptical, to be honest.
I mean, that's understandable.
Like, it looks good in videos, but I'm just like, man, in practice, I don't know how I feel about. Because, like, there's one thing, like, so Doom 2016, the most, like, level exploring you did was to get your red, blue, and yellow key cards, which is, like, that's Doom. Like, that's the classic id first-person shooter formula.
Yeah.
Which is fun. Like, I have no problem with that. Like, oh, you can't get to this area because you need a key card. I'm like, okay, find the blue key card. Good. You know, and you've got that, but now you've got more puzzly things on top of it. I'm just not sure.
Plus, certain you probably have to get like specific.
Well, and then you're also going to return to maps. So, like, compared to Doom 2016, which is map by map, like big maps, you get keys, get different areas, that sort of stuff, but it's linear. So this, you can go to different. Still recording? Yep, still recording because it throws this phone onto the floor. Yep. So you have a hub, you have a floating, like, Doom castle, like, in the sky that you go back to, and you, like, return to different areas now, I guess, to, like, progress further. So, like, it could work, but
I mean, it sounds like it might run into the same issues that Borderlands 3 ran into with their hub world and their menu.
I thought the thing was Borderlands 3 amazing, but their interface is crap compared to 2. I thought that was the deal. I didn't play it, so yeah, I can't speak to how it is now or whatever.
I do remember the hub world being a point of contention for some people. Whether it really was is, you know, I mean, I haven't played it.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Then in April, I'm really looking forward to The Last of Us Part 2 because Naughty Dog makes amazing games and definitely don't let their fans down. And also because Seattle is going to play a huge part in it. And I can't wait to see whether or not they fuck that up like the infamous developer Sucker Punch did, or they actually do it justice.
Yeah.
So excited for that. And then moving past that, I suppose really the next thing I'm looking forward to is if we get a release date, hopefully for this year for Breath of the Wild 2, would be awesome. And then the big one, which I've been salivating about, especially because me and Brock, we usually listen to like audiobooks and podcasts and stuff because we drive a lot when we're not doing this weird new talking to you thing while we're driving.
Yeah.
And I had him listen to the set before Halo 5 podcast called Hunt the Truth about Master Chief and whether or not he's a fugitive or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, this is really good shit. I forgot how much I love Halo. Halo's amazing. But there hasn't been a Halo game like a main one in like
a good one
6 years. So it's been a fucking minute. And God, I'm just fucking salivating at my lips for the shreddiest morsel of information of Halo Infinite. Widely rumored to be an open ring world experience with a linear campaign that then opens like truly open world in the end with content that comes periodically, like Destiny or something.
Yeah.
Or like we'll see. Was supposed to. We'll see. I mean, yeah. And they had a video recently, which super nerds of the internet and YouTube have dissected, and they saw some test footage of Halo Infinite. Maybe put there on purpose to tease fans, maybe not. We'll see. And it for sure showed a grapple hook ability, which
why would you need that if you were, unless you're not a Spartan?
I don't know. I mean, I could think of it in the same way as how like Doom Eternal has a fucking it's got like a called something else like a meat spiker or something like that. But you like grapple to an enemy and it pulls you towards it while you rip their head off.
Well, okay, that's different. Like an actual weapon feature that lets you grapple things to you or whatever.
Yeah, we
But like you as a Spartan, or like unless you're not a Spartan, like having to use a grappling hook as a utility tool seems silly. Unless you're going to be just plain Joe Schmo, which you could.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want that.
I don't either.
Because they've said that. Because I know you didn't play 5, but one of the complaints about 5 was, much like Halo 2, you split your time between not playing as the chief and this other dude.
Yeah, but Halo 2, it was good.
I mean, it was fine in 5 too, in 5 as well, but it's not what people wanted after Halo 4 was such a serious story. But anyway, we could speculate. Like, there's no footage. There's just like somebody zoomed in on a screenshot, and they saw like really shitty textured looking thing. Somebody holding a Halo battle rifle, and then in the left hand corner, undeniably, unmistakably, like a little hook with like a little rope and like a little blue button thing. And so it's like, okay,
that sounds dumb. Like I
mean, I personally am always for grapple hooks in games. I'm a grapple hook guy. You know, love Spider-Man, love the fucking badass grapple hook in Titanfall games. You know, that sort of thing.
Like, I mean,
but at the end of the day, we don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's
really
true.
It could be a fucking placeholder image or like laser whip or something.
I mean, it could just be a completely misdirect.
But I'm just shocked at this point. 6 years in, all we have is some cinematics and some kind of like, here's our badass engine. Look at it rendering wildlife and water flecks and cool shit.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm hoping. I mean, it'd be cool if we had like some kind of trailer before E3, but I think we're probably gonna get like a fucking 20-minute Halo Infinite on the new Xbox,
like a full presentation about it.
Yeah, like here's trailer, here's the fucking gameplay, and it like blows people's fucking mind because I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
I'm ready for Halo Far Cry, like super ready. Like maybe with some RPG elements. Like I want it.
Well, and I had mentioned to you that if it was going to be RPG-esque, like, well, why don't you, like, have customizations or specializations for whatever your character is? Like you have a Spartan that's, like, melee.
I mean, I could see it being, like, you play Chief for the campaign, and then at the end you have, like, your own Spartan.
Yeah.
You, like, customize. Because they did that, actually, in Halo 4. I know you don't know this, but... So Halo 4 had really extensive DLC, like story DLC, where you played as, it was called Spartan Ops.
Yeah.
And they were done in 2 seasons, actually. It was really interesting. So they would have like a map they give you, and then they give you a couple of missions on it in a month. And then the next month you get a different map and like a little bit different of a story and like some different shit to do on different stuff. Culminating in some story stuff that had a lot of ties into 5.
Okay.
Like it was really well done, but the team has famously said, like, yeah, we just didn't sleep for a year, so we're not going to do that again. That was a lot of hard work. They're like, it was cool, we're glad people loved it, but nah, dog. Nah.
Nah.
So. Well, we're almost back to our office now, so I guess that will be the end of
today's session.
So, yeah, we were going to do this daily, but we haven't driven a lot of places.
No.
Or at least places that gave us time to talk and weren't like 20 to 15-minute jaunts around town and fixing shit.
Yeah.
So this is either the end of the episode or as soon as we stop talking, there's more content. You'll find out after this.
Yep.
And
Thank you for listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast. You can find our podcast at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Feel free to email us at dynamicworks@mac.com.
Dynamic Armada, the voice of Guybrush Threepwood, and you're listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast.
The Citadel, Arrival, is the first installment in a series of epic science fiction short stories reminiscent of the Pulp Fiction style. It's a fast-paced story that will take you through twists and turns that you will not expect, until they are thrust upon you with all the force, excitement, and chaos of a plasma cannon blast. The story follows Katarl, a nobody cog in the working wheels of a futuristic society run completely by Megacorp, a corporation that carefully runs and manages the lives of the people living under its sphere of power. On one of Katarl's few and far between days off from work, an outing he had hoped would be fun and relaxing turns into an explosive adventure that drags him kicking and screaming into situations and challenges that will make him question every aspect of his life. Watch this colorful tapestry unfurl as Katarl and his newfound allies find their way through this classic, yet oddly surprising tale of good and evil, where nothing is quite what it appears to be. That's The Citadel, Arrival by author Tim K.A. Trotter, available right now on Amazon Kindle Store and iTunes iBookstore for only $2.99.